Hello, everyone. So, welcome to an episode for Doers Within Emerging Markets, Time for Emerging Markets podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Fortune, and I'm here to share with you a book that I've been reading. It's called The Long Walk to Freedom, the Auto-Biography of Nelson Mandela, who was the president of the first Black president of South Africa. And I think this is a book that really encompasses a doer in a time when things were really, really challenging in South Africa. There was this apartheid movement that became very systemic in the country. And through his book, his autobiography, you could really see someone evolve into being a leader and really understanding who he was and who he became to be, and how he used that to influence a society and later on transform the way we look at the world and how societies need to be more inclusive, right? What is striking about the book is just how human Nelson Mandela made himself to look like, and grew up in a very poor village, and taking and being so grounded in his principles and what he really felt was something that people had to understand about himself, especially when he got into positions of power. That was something that was really striking, and just how humbling his background was something that I really got. I really admired the most about just how he carried himself with that humility as he progressed into the ANC, and and even when he found himself in prison. But I think just a few chapters in the book, I think something that has been really striking is just how he viewed the world through the lens of relationships, of how we actually need to look at people just the way people are, and how we can really learn about taking every phase of life one step at a time, and knowing that you're doing the best you can at the level you are is sufficient enough to take you to that next level, rather than jumping from level 1 to level 20. And I think that was something that he over time became a master at, just to address one situation at a time, but also have that big prize that it was critical for him to learn about. There's this big goal, but I have to learn things at different stages, right? I can't really go into full details of the book because I hope to do like a full session later on about the book once I finish the book. But I do think that as many of the listeners here, you guys probably may perhaps have read the book, or had one watched the movie, or have been exposed to some version of Nelson Mandela's story, President Nelson Mandela. But I think something that I hope to do in this podcast, and also, moving forward in how I develop my career, is sharing stories like this. There are very young aspiring entrepreneurs out there, young aspiring leaders who are making a difference on the African continent, in South Asia, in Latin America, emerging and frontier markets, who really, in the 20s, 30s, 40s, trying to really build a society that's inclusive, that can provide opportunity to the underserved, can promote women to be at the frontier of the economy as well as the society. And I think Nelson Mandela is a very good example of someone who took, put his life on the line to make sure that there was quality, an equitable society in South Africa. But most importantly, there was this innate sense of self, and in spite of the fact that you're Black, you still have that power to make a difference in your life. You still had to be courageous enough to stand for what you believed in, and had the principles that was necessary for you to build a society that there was mutual respect and value, and people were seen not based on the color of the skin, but the content of the character. And I think that was something that is clearly emulated in this book. So this is just an initial review, and I think for most of you guys who read the book, please feel free to share more, you can reach out to me to, or just kind of give feedback necessary, because my episode also posted on YouTube, so you can comment there as well. But that's my initial review of this book, and I hope you get the book. It's called Long Walk to Freedom, Auto-Biography of Nelson Mandela. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Please feel free to subscribe or follow me on Spotify, on this called What's Within Emerging Markets, Time for Emerging Markets. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcast, it's also on Anchor. I also post some episodes on YouTube as well, so feel free to check that out. And I'm always excited to share more stories. Some fascinating entrepreneurs have been on this podcast, and you can go back and listen to some of the episodes. Just a great conversations I've had. Some people doing some extraordinary work in their respective fields, and I'm really loving it, and I hope to share more of this with you guys moving forward in April and many months to come. So thank you so much again for listening. Please feel free to subscribe, follow the podcast, and more exciting stuff is coming your way. Have a great weekend, or great week for everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys.